All right, so today we're going to dive into NFT fashion and how this might be changing the game, both in the metaverse, but maybe even in the real world. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to Tech Path. Today we're going to jump into NFT fashion. I think when I look at where NFTs are evolving, the big detachment I have is the transition between real world and metaverse, or real world and gaming. How will fashion play a role in all of that aspect? Because a lot of that, the looks, the feel, those kind of things become paramount in how a metaverse will perform and also how a gaming project will perform. Think about it from the essence of what's happening in, AAA gaming right now. The cooler games get the cooler looks, get the more players, get the more money, get the brand, all of it flows up. So I think this is going to be a big factor. All right, so today's partner is Hodler.style, which I think fits perfectly in our topic for today. Could this be the ultimate crypto investor status symbol, or your ultimate flex? Might be interesting. And of course, NFT investors really in the past have not had a way to kind of flex their status, hence what's happening over at Hodler. These jackets will appreciate in price, potentially, and just as CryptoPunks, when they are first on their first series, you're going to get a chance to kind of become a no-brainer investment in how these may become a big collector's item. There are thousands of NFT collectors and investors out there, but there's only 400 Ethereum jackets that will ever be made. So this is one that I'm just interested in, just how the evolution of fashion is going. And when you go to their website and you look at the kinds of jackets they've got, let's take a look here. So they're looking at 3 layers here. One ETH jacket, which you can get in the bomber version, the tactical version, or the hacker version. And in the details, let's open up the bomber version of this. 1 ETH, total jackets 388, resellable, yes. Which, by the way, they're going to have a marketplace that would enable you to do the reselling of these jackets. So that I think is cool. And also here, from an aspect of how it works, is the jacket itself is going to be powered by an NFT technology that enables it to transition into an environment. And that might be a metaverse, possibly a game, as I think partnerships and things like that would probably play into the whole aspect of it. But I think the key here is that what we're finding in fashion and how all of this is tying into the metaverse, at some point, we're going to see a transition between in real life and how that might play out in gaming and the metaverse itself. The team is a core team of people that have really been in the fashion business for quite some time, and also really diving into where the technology is going when it comes to NFTs itself. So you should check out their video. Make sure and check the link below if you want to get more information on this project. I think this is one that you should be watching. Let's jump over to Burberry as our first topic. And this one right here, of course, you guys probably saw this one breaking out. Burberry drops their NFT collection in the mythical games Blankos Block Party. And this was a perfect example of how a brand is, I think, jumping on the bandwagon to a certain extent. Not that, and listen, Burberry's a great brand, but I think we're going to see a lot of this occurring, and how brands are trying to navigate this transition, because it's still very new. The technology itself is really new, and also the technology that it's going to take to kind of transition from real world design to metaverse and gaming design. All of that is a big deal. So Burberry, definitely one that's coming. If you looked on this August 4th, Burberry announced today as partner with Mythical Games the launch of the NFT collection in their flagship title, the Blankos Block Party. So this is the perfect example of how it actually occurred. And I think it was a good attempt, overall. And if you look at Sharky right there, Mythical Marketplace, this is the early access season. 750 were minted. And there you go. You've got a full marketplace that they've implemented into the Mythical marketplace. And I think that is kind of the element, at least in the front side of things, of how real world brands will start to do these partnerships, whether it's games with metaverse companies, etc. I think the key is going to be the companies and the brand and the designers that really kind of come up with their very unique aspect of maybe something like the in real world NFT / fashion, or a whole connection that ties into something that's so dynamic and so beautiful that it starts to separate games and metaverses from others. So that's going to be a big one to watch. Let's also look at Dolce & Gabbana. We're announcing the Dolce & Gabbana NFT community exclusively in partnership with Unix NFT, and this is 4 exclusive levels, including the ultra exclusive gold level. Inaugural members will be able to be the winners of the Collection de Nisai auction and join our DG family. All right, so I looked at this collection, and I wanted to kind of jump into some of these because these are unbelievable designs, all of which are, as you can see, some pretty pricey ETH scenarios. There's the Dress from a Dream, the silver version. You've got one down here that I love, which if you guys are trying to get me a Christmas present, this is the one I would like, the Mosaic Jacket right there. Put that right there by Dolce & Gabbana. So these are some pretty hefty designs, but also I think in the aspect of collectability, as we see NFTs start to move in this, and I think that's where the value of a lot of fashion will be in the NFT space. The big factor is going to be, is there a market for that after? Now, if you look at traditional fashion, and this still works out there today. If you're a Manolo Blahnik shoe wearer, maybe you're a Louboutin shoe wearer, you can resell those in the marketplaces. There's actually a lot of resell capabilities of real world activities over there. So for a NFT to be resold in a marketplace, it is not far-fetched, especially when it's done by brands and companies like this. The question I have will be, who are the next companies that are really changing the game on this? And I want to jump into a couple of these. Before I do, though, let's also jump over to Jimmy Choo. Now, they went a different route with the mystery box. So let's say if you wanted to buy this, you got Jimmy Choo talking about shoes, even though this should have been a Manolo Blahnik, I think, I feel like. But you go in here and buy now. These, of course, sold out, 30 BUSD, and it was a mystery box. It would have been nice to know what that mystery box got. But this is a good marketing ploy, I think, for both from the Binance NFT connection and also what Jimmy Choo was trying to do of really kind of tying in this whole NFT craze and moving that fashion into the next era. I think the key here is going to be, as I said, how these brands and designers can transition this into something that is really sexy looking in the metaverse and also has utility, which could be cool, utility function within games and things like that. I want to jump over also into this company called Astra, which is a play-to-win luxury fashion. This one is the one that I think, even though it's a little bit sketch, I won't say too much about it, but the point is that it's trying to transition this whole process. So you're going to see more and more digital fashion design houses coming to the market. And I think, from a designer's aspect, we'll see more and more designers starting to move in this direction. The real magical part here for a designer, if you're out there and you're a clothing designer or a shoe designer or just in general a clothing designer, you're going to see a potential opportunity here, I think, in a big way to transition your skill set to the digital side, especially around blockchain, NFTs, gaming, and metaverse. So be on the lookout for that. This is an example of old school transitioning to new school, and this is I Love New York series. They basically took a picture of their model, dropped it on OpenSea, and that was kind of the model here. I would say that is old school in the sense that we're way past that already and moving into kind of the next era of where this is really going. And that is where it's going to get super magical. One of the things that is going to be very cool here is a company that is called the Fabricant. This to me is the future of digital fashion, not only in real life, but also in the ability to transition that into a metaverse application. So NFT transitions, you can kind of see what they're talking about here, some of these beautiful elements here. And I want to play this video right here because this is a cool one too. Let me mute that down, but you can kind of see what the approach here, and this is Puma and the Fabricant dialing it in terms of design. Now, seeing this in a real world transition over to metaverse, you can start to see the things I'm talking about. And like I said early in the video here, is the company that really kind of comes together with all of this, that really brings design, function, utility, and value all into the metaverse or into gaming. Okay, now you got something special. You've got collectability. It's kind of like comics or any other thing that is cool and hip and creates that culture awareness. That's how Supreme started. You could just name the number of brands that have that culture connectivity and are able to do it. NFT and how this all transitions is real. This is real progress in terms of fashion and on design and in utility and where it's going to be going. So don't sleep on this one for sure. Flow is the architecture that's driving all this. Now, this is a new blockchain that's built in a next generation of apps, games, and digital assets that power them. And all of this is for designers that are looking to go in and start building inside the metaverse for their brand. So you look at all the big guys right there, CryptoKitties, NBA, Top Shot, UFC, Dr. Seuss, Animoca. You obviously see that from the gaming side. Ubisoft is in here. This is going to be the engine, I think, that is the transitionary scenario. I think there will be many companies and many projects, blockchains including, that will start to transition the tech that's going to be needed to move in this direction. And if you look at some of the primer overview here on About Flow, empowers developers to build thriving crypto and crypto-enabled businesses. Again, this will be where the designers really kind of flow into this. Good name. And I think the whole idea around digital assets, tradable on open markets, accessible from anywhere in the world. Again, these are the rails that we are expecting to see in blockchain. And if you've been a Web 2 developer for very long, if you think about Ruby on Rails or what we saw in Python and all of that evolution, I know we're probably talking into the weeds a little bit, but the point is to make this work, you have to have cool tech to make all this stuff move into this next kind of evolution of what reality is going to be, and that is the metaverse. So I'm very pumped about this. As you can tell, I'm very excited because I think this is a cool aspect of where the metaverse is going. The last thing I want to talk about is this company right here, Clo3D. Now, this is where we're talking about the ultimate in the transition process. Now, Clo3D is essentially revolutionizing the design in 3D to move into these digital spaces. I want you to look at some of the aspects of what they're trying to do. So this is for a designer that's out there trying to build something not only in 3D, but to move this potentially into a function within the metaverse. And that is where this gets super intriguing because value of all these digital assets. Remember, today we're buying land on Sandbox, you're buying space on Big Time, you're doing things like that that are creating value, maybe a VIP pass, an alpha pass. All that's traditional, but it's very early stage. This is next gen. This is definitely where we start to see Blade Runner kind of aspects in the metaverse, where we start to see those 3D holographics moving at us, where we can start to do, things like Minority Report in terms of real world to virtual world aspects of these assets, because I think that is going to be a huge market. We've already seen Artifact, Nike moving in this direction. We've seen a massive movement here in terms of major companies and design companies jumping in here. So this is a project that I think you guys, when I say project, meaning project area, that you should really pay attention to. If you're investing in crypto, if you're investing in technology, and you're looking at metaverse and you're looking at NFT assets to grow your investment portfolio, whether it's doing things like on Masterworks with art, doing things like with, the company with Hodler on, physical jackets, all those kind of things will eventually transition into a digital space. And the digital space is going to be the one that matters the most in terms of value asset and the ability to reach the masses, just like what we're seeing with Vivi in the comic scene. All of this is moving in that same direction. So do not sleep on this area because I think there's going to be a lot of blockchain projects that you need to be watching that will associate with this. Watch the games that are tying into these fashion components, and then watch the metaverse deals that these kinds of companies are making. All right, so you guys are listening in over on the podcast right now. Best thing to do is jump over here to the YouTube channel because you just missed basically a runway show on what Metaverse Fashion is going to look like. So get over here, hit the like button. Make sure and hit the like button on this video because this is something that helps us understand what you want to see here on the show, but also it helps others kind of understand, one, the algorithm, and helps it move to the next direction for getting us more subscribers because we want to bring you more content like this. And also, if you have an idea for a show, if you think, hey, Paul, let's dive in a little deeper, maybe look at Clo3D a little deeper, what kind of partnership deals are they doing? Hit me up on Twitter @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.